Good afternoon. I hope you guys are having as much fun watching these things as I have making them. It's this is definitely turning into a labor of love here because I'm trying to come up with things to talk about and I'm trying to come up with things to do. My last video, I did a typo on the YouTube introduction, shared it with Facebook, suddenly realized I had bad grammar on there, went back to YouTube, changed it, and then Facebook insisted on making sure that my spelling error stayed there forever because Facebook never forgets. Remember that if you're in your 20s, you're out drinking and there's a camera around there. Also, somebody pointed out to me, a good friend of mine who's got a bad sense of humor, pointed out to me that my screenshot made me look like a hamster. And I could see it myself. Actually, I looked more like a dead gopher than a hamster, but that's just my opinion. So, in case you haven't noticed this video that starts, I actually have a little screenshot right there, stopped, looking very formal and whatnot, so we don't have any dead hamster experiences anymore. So, ran the numbers, and they're still going the same direction they were before. They might be slowing up a bit, right? Our actives this week was 3,988 active properties on the MLS as of 9 o'clock yesterday morning on Wednesday, March 3rd. That's only a change of 49 less than the week before. So, hey, hopefully we might be slowing up here. New listings that came on, there was 2,399 new listings, which actually went up 162 week over week. That's positive. Closings actually went up quite a bit. We had 3,064 closed over, that's 894 over the week before that. So big surge of closing, but it's also catching everything at the end of the month. And if you've ever worked in escrow, if you've been in real estate for a while, the end of the month is their busiest week. Everybody's trying to close by the end of the month so they don't have the next mortgage payment coming on or the next HOA payment. So a little pro tip for agents out there, if you can at all possible, write your closings for the middle of the month or for the first of the month. Try to stay off the last 2 days of the month. Your escrow officer will love you for it. All right. So that was our big change in that. Pendings actually dropped. We had 2,119 less pendings than the week before. And 1,268 under contract looking for backups went down 36. So that's also could come up on the weekend. I just started tracking these numbers individually about a month ago, so I don't have that really good, huge range of data going in that I like to see for real trends or anything. But this is why we're starting to track these things because that way we can see what's going on more. Still, buyers, the contracts under a buyer contingency is at 83. That's only a four contract change from the week before that. And the week before that was only a 2 contract change before that. So it's bouncing around about 81, 82. And that's that just might turn out to be a standard on that. We're going to have to watch that more to see what's going on. Houses came back. 744 houses went back on the market last week, right? That's a change, up 82 from the week before, which was a change of 56 for the week before that. So houses are starting to come back. We'll keep tracking these numbers, start seeing if that is a seasonal thing, if that is a monthly thing. It could just be that they pick up at the end of the month, they disappear at the beginning of the month, but that's an interesting number to start tracking. Interest rates are going up. I've heard that from several people. Currently, I'm trying to refi my house myself because I don't listen to my own advice. Early last year, I told all of my sellers who have ever purchased with me, hey, look into refis. Forgot to do it myself. Did my taxes. My father-in-law goes, hey, why are you paying so much in interest? And I looked at him and went, oh, yeah, crap. Forgot to do my own house. So we're looking into that. And in the period that would be time when I started doing that and the time I actually started formally doing the paperwork, I'm suddenly looking at a higher interest rate. That's 2 weeks that's going to wind up costing me for the next 30 years. So if you have a house and you have not refied, for the love of God, start doing it right now. Refis are down for lenders, and new mortgage applications are down for lenders. So it's not like they're too busy to work with you. It's starting to tighten up on the lending side. And the national news sources are starting to say that that's going to mean we're going to have less buyers in a couple months. That's might start affecting our market here in Arizona. I think it's going to be more along the lines of these numbers. National sources always go with the national news. We need more specific Arizona news. Cromford Report has a report coming out on Monday. I'm going to be sitting there watching that, taking my notes. Maybe I'll get to ask a question or two. If you guys have a question that you want me to ask Cromford Report people, put it in the comments below. And hopefully we can start getting more Arizona news and less national news going on. That's one of the things I really want to do with this podcast, is start actually being a source for the news for our actual market here. Now I'm going to follow this up with a short video I just shot on the interest rates, how they affect your purchasing power, how they affect how many buyers are out there. And that's going to be it for this week. Thank you very much. Questions, complaints, concerns, comments, leave them below. All right. If you have any questions or need to get a hold of me, my email's down there. And of course, you can always give me a call. I'm Ray Dawson with ProStar Realty. Thank you much. I threw this chart together to show you why we track interest rates so much, and how the interest rate changing changes your purchasing power when you're looking for a house. And it also changes how many buyers there are out there on the market when you're trying to sell your house. If your average rate that's going on today is 3%, and in your average market house was $350,000, right? Your principal and interest payment on that $350,000 would be $1,475. Right? So to borrow $350,000 at 3% interest, you're paying $1,475 a month for your principal and interest payment. You also have taxes and insurance on there, so that's not going to be your flat line. But that's a number you're working at and what we're going to be dealing with. If the interest rate goes up to 5%, to borrow that $350,000, you're going to need to be paying $1,878. That's a $403 difference between a 3% up here and a 5% down here. If the interest rate only went up 1% to 4%, you'd be paying $1,670 for a difference of $195. Then you layer your taxes and insurance on top of that. But you can start seeing how your monthly payment goes up when you see that interest rate goes up. And just an example of how it affects your purchasing power. At the 3%, at $350, you're paying $1,475. If that's the number you're locked into, you say, I don't want to pay more than $1,475, but the interest rates go up. Going up to 5%. All right. To get that same payment of $1,476, all right, which is just a dollar more, you're only going to be able to borrow $275. That's a pretty big difference right there. That's $75,000 difference worth of house. And more importantly, it reduces the amount of houses that you can find. We're just running these numbers right now. All right, I did a search, 350,000 or less, 3-bedroom home, nothing else. That all came out to 1,109. There are 1,109 houses on the MLS when I ran this that were at 350 or below. Now, if you check, I went and said, how many 275 houses are there? There's 463. That's less than half of the new houses that are available out there. And they started moving over into other neighborhoods. So this is why we track interest rates. As the interest rates go up, less people are going to be able to get the house that they want, and they're going to stay renters. Or they're going to stay home with mom and dad. Or they're just not going to move out of the house that they're in. As a seller, as you start seeing these interest rates going up, you're going to start seeing less and less buyers. Now, we still have a huge surplus of buyers to sellers right now. But we are seeing interest rates starting to climb. And that is going to start affecting this market. Less people are going to be going out there on the market. They might be sitting there going, hey, $1,475, that's my rent right now. And I like my place. I'll be happy to keep renting this. All right. Interest rate goes up. They're definitely not going to get out of their rental at $1,878 if they like paying the $1,475. But when that interest rate goes up to 5%, they're not looking at the 350 houses anymore. They're down here looking at the 275. So what does this all mean to you? It means that if you are interested in purchasing a house, one of the biggest impacts it's going to have on the market when you're going out there is your interest rate. This is why we encourage you to go out there, talk to a lender first before you take any other steps, even calling up a real estate agent. Now, if you don't have a lender in your pocket, go ahead and get a hold of a real estate agent and ask them who you want to work with. They will sit there and give you a couple people to go over. Those people will qualify you, figure out what your purchasing power is, give you a rough estimate of what your payments are going to be, so you can start plotting things out. But I would not wait too much longer because the rates are starting to go up even as I speak, and I really don't see them slow them up anytime soon. We do got some Fed numbers that are going to be coming out later this month, and people are going to be tracking that. But right now, because of activities going on there, they're starting to creep up on us. Are we going to see the 2% pluses anymore? Where people are buying at 2.5%? I don't know. There's too many moving variables to tell you what your quote number is going to be. That's why you talk to a lender and not a real estate agent. Thank you much, guys.